Cardell Sharpeye was born into a family of skilled hunters. His people, the Keen folk, have lived for generations in the mountains of Nolan, where they have learned to survive by hunting the steep stalkers that dwell on the cliffs. Cardell was raised with a deep understanding of projectile weapons, and he learned to shoot with such accuracy that it seemed as natural as breathing. As he grew older, Cardell's reputation as a marksman grew, and he became known as one of the best hunters in the village. He was respected by all, and many looked up to him as a leader. One day when Cardell was on the cusp of adulthood, he was summoned to take the ancient test that would grant him full standing in the village. The test was a daunting one: to shoot a steep stalker from the valley floor and bring it down with a single shot. If he missed, he would be forever shamed and dishonored. Cardell took up his rifle and aimed carefully. The steep stalker was perched high above, its glittering central eye glinting in the sun. Cardell held his breath and pulled the trigger. The shot rang out, and the steep stalker tumbled from its perch, crashing down to the valley floor. The villagers cheered and clapped Cardell on the back. But when they went to collect the carcass, they found something strange. The bullet had pierced the steep stalker's central eye, the one that glittered like a gemstone, and had become lodged in the creature's mandibles. The village elders studied this ominous sign and delivered a shocking prophecy: Cardell would be exiled from the village, and he would not be welcomed back until he had attained legendary stature on a field of battle. Cardell was stunned. He had never imagined that his skill with a rifle would lead to his exile. But he knew that he had no choice but to accept the prophecy and set out on his own. He gathered his gear, said goodbye to his family, and left the village that had always been his home. For many years, Cardell wandered the world, seeking out battles and proving his worth as a warrior. He fought in countless skirmishes, honing his skills and becoming an even deadlier marksman. And eventually, his name began to spread. People started to talk about the sniper who could shoot the wings off a fly at 500 yards, the man who never missed his mark. However, the more Cardell fought, the more he saw the ugliness of war. He saw the devastation it wrought, the lives it destroyed, and the families it tore apart. And as the years passed, he began to wonder if the cost of his own legend was worth the price others were paying. Cardell's battles took him far from his homeland, and as he grew older, he realized that he might never be able to fulfill the prophecy and return to his village. And so he lived out his days as a nomad, a wandering warrior haunted by the memory of the life he had left behind. And yet, through it all, Cardell never forgot his home in the mountains of Nolan. He longed to return and be welcomed back into the fold of his people. And so one day he set out on the long journey back to his village, hoping against hope that he had fulfilled the prophecy and could at last be welcomed home.